Everybody, it is Monique here, and I want to give you some really epic advice that I wished someone would have given me back in the day when I started on my conscious creation journey. A lot of us parrot Neville and Seth and Bashar when they say stuff, but then do we really get it? So, for instance, imagination is the only reality. Do you actually understand what Neville says here? Everything that goes on in your mind, everything, none of it is descriptive. It is all creative. As soon as you think something, it is a creation. Thought is imagination. Everything that you're seeing outside, that you give a word to, a narrative, a thought, that's imagination. And we don't have to go into an argument of, yeah, but I see it, and but then how does that work? Like, let's leave that for what it is. Let's go to everything that happens in your mind is imagination. Everything, every thought, even the thought my mom just called, it happened and it is imagination. Seth says this: every thought is a reality. Every thought is a reality. Not a reality that you experience necessarily. Every thought has the possibility to become a physical, materialized experience or object. So the thing that gives something enough substance to actually jump into physical reality is repetition, is emotion. I've made a couple of more videos about this where I quote from the book 10,000 Whispers from Lynda, Madden, Dahl. And what I actually can do, I will look up the passage again, because repetition is where it's at, guys and girls. So I'm going to get the book. Oh, I have it here. And I'm going to, first I thought I'm going to pause this, but I'm going to do this with you here with me. EE units. Yes, okay. I've read this a couple of times, and repetition is how things get natural to us. Like when you practice handstands, like I've been doing, at one point you can do them because you've practiced them. And what is fun, Seth says, a change in outer appearance is a change in inner confidence. Because as you know, time isn't linear, it's simultaneous. And we are watching frames of reality. Everything we see is an objective frame of reality, and we give it meaning by what we think. In any case, so how do things jump into physical reality? Let's start with the consciousness units, and then we go to the EE units. So consciousness units, all that is consciousness. This is from the book 10,000 Whispers. The link is in the description to the full book. And the last couple of days, I've been giving you more from that book, like cherry picking chapters that have helped me immensely on my journey. Consciousness is all that is. The implications of those two statements would change the face of civilization if understood and accepted. What they suggest is that everything we see and experience is built of consciousness, and everything we see and experience is a part of all that is. All realities, worlds, events, matter, and creatures are extensions of all that is, literally formed by it. Nothing literally formed from it and by it. Nothing appears anywhere in the universe without the building blocks of consciousness behind its creation and within its structure. But how? Does God wave a cosmic wand and voila, another event, another material object is created? Or is there, dare we say, a logic associated with manifestation? According to Seth, that is the case. That we don't understand it is our problem. The mechanics, if you will, have always been in place, and we've used them whether we knew it or not. It seems that consciousness is composed of mental units of consciousness, CUs, the smallest possible unit of all that is. Held within each CU is the knowledge of the universe and the history and pattern of all that is. So this is a side note from me, like you have an ocean. When you have a drop of the ocean, there's the ocean in a drop, right? And then you have the massive ocean as well. Okay, back to the book. Since these units are parts of all that is, they are non-physical energy that is aware of itself. Each CU has the built-in ability to organize, expand, and develop along any lines it chooses. It is charged with a propensity toward expression and a great desire to fulfill itself through creativity. According to Seth, CUs never become physical particles themselves, but all physical matter emerges from them. They build the atoms and molecules found in our world, along with everything else. Now, an interesting thing about these CUs. They exist outside time and space and are found in all places all at once. So, side note from me again, have you heard of the double slit theory? That explains this concept. So, back to the book. And because they are not formed under the rules of time and space or three-dimensional reality and are everywhere concurrently, they are free to be clairvoyant and precognitive. Not only that, their awareness of all organizations of which they are a part allows them to pass great amounts of information back and forth between individuals and groups, eschewing time and space boundaries. These all that is in miniature are endowed with unpredictability, which is extremely important because anything less would ultimately result in stagnation. This unpredictability, by its very nature, supports infinite probabilities and patterns. Consciousness, in order to create and develop, has to have the ultimate freedom to be what it chooses when it chooses. CUs form themselves into groupings and systems that they themselves initiate, becoming their own camouflage or disguise. From these groupings and systems come everything from realities to rocks, offering the participating CUs a platform for experience, the whole point of their being. And our being is a direct result of their being. Seth says, CUs form what we think of as the mind, and the brain and body follow. The mind is resident throughout the body and beyond, not just in the brain, Seth says. But CUs don't just form us, they permeate us while still residing outside of time and space. And that's why, because of a CU's propensity to know everything of which it is a part, every cell in our body knows instantly what is happening with its counterparts. And every mind is in constant touch with all others. And that's why Telepathy is a thing. Okay, there's another part about the greater self and the inner self. I'm not going to go there now. I'm going to go how physical reality is created. Electromagnetic energy units, because repetition of everything creates. A thought held long enough with emotion and repeated is what creates. So, electromagnetic energy units, this is the book again. Consciousness, whether it is composed of one unit of consciousness or, like humans, many, emanates electromagnetic energy, EE units, with every subjective experience. That is, with every thought, emotion, or mental picture, consciousness emits EE units. These units, imbued with consciousness themselves, have a unique electromagnetic reality which can combine with others of like intensity. Side note, that's why like attracts like. Back to the book. They become the basic carriers of perception, found just beneath the range of physical matter, yet giving birth to it and becoming a part of it. They are the entryway into physical matter. EE units are built up in response to emotional intensity. The stronger the thought or feeling, the greater the size, stability, and strength of their magnetic nature. They will attract others of the same nature, forming a larger and larger magnetic field. The stronger the intensity of the field, the faster and more stable the physical materialization of the structure that has been designed for actualization by consciousness. So, a very long winded way of saying whatever you think about and feel about and repeat it will outpicture and materialize. And then some people say, yeah, a thought once held is long enough. Yeah, might be true for them. Some people love to repeat, some people have to repeat because somehow they do not feel it when they, like, everyone is different, dude. There's no one size fits all, whatever works for you. But keep this in mind. Whenever it becomes efforting, the efforting already gives away that you are in a state of being that thinks it needs to have this happen, and it doesn't have it already. Because actually, the only thing that you're doing with repeating stuff, so we call it affirmations, but an affirmation is actually just a deliberate thought, either spoken thought or in the mind thought. Like, now I lost my train of thought. Where was I going? Oh. Must not have been so important. Moral of the story: everything is a creation that comes from you. Some people create like this, others create like that. An affirmation is nothing more than a thought you kept thinking. Oh, yeah, this is where I was going. And you do the affirming, you do the repetition because somehow it is not possible for you yet to switch or shift states just by your decision. Because you can also say, that's not me anymore, and boom, you're in the different identity, you're in the different state. Sometimes you need to repeat, and it depends on where you are in your journey, it depends on what type of person you are. Maybe you really enjoy repeating this stuff. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what works for you, and that you understand how this works, and that you do it because you love yourself, not because you think It will make you a more whole person because you're already whole and complete. Yes, you are. Okay, this is enough for now. I think this is already a pretty long video. A fit mind creates a beautiful body and an epic life. I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Oh, and in the description, the link to the full audio book of 10,000 Whispers. Much love. Bye.